Hey guys, welcome back. So, today I've got something new. C3PO hands. Got another one here. Ta-da! Now, you might be saying, what's so special about that, Gordon? Don't you already have a bunch of C3PO hands? Yes, I've got a big stack of C3PO hands. I've got 3D printed hands. I've got resin hands. I've got fiberglass hands. I've got flexible urethane hands. But what's different about these is I made them out of latex. So they're flexible, like really flexible. They kind of feel like a thick dish glove. Now, this wasn't exactly the intent, but I picked up that slip casting latex, which I remembered a few days ago. I posted that because I'm working on a sculpture which is back here under a bag, and I want to make masks. So that's why I bought that. But I was digging around in my room looking for stuff, and I found molds that I made way back when I was in Florida. Plaster molds, because I had intended to try to make latex C3PO hands. And at the time when I did it, I think I made the molds, and then right after I made the molds, I was looking into buying the latex, and then I learned about how much latex shrinks when you do a slip cast mold. And I thought, oh, it's going to be too small. And I never followed through with it, but I kept the molds just in case. Well, the other day, I saw them, and I was like, hey, I have the latex right here. I might as well try these and see. I've never taken a casting from them. So I shut the molds, poured the latex in, and I've got hands. And they fit. Now, I figured they'd be pretty flexible. And I'll get into this in a second about how these were made and why they're as flexible. But I figured they'd be flexible. I didn't know how flexible or how thick I could get them. But this is the first round of these, and I think that I can make them a little thicker and they'd be less flexible, and they might actually work. So this is kind of, I don't know if you see this up close. I put this on right after I took out the mold, and I probably should have let it cure a little longer. You can see it's a little stretched right there. These are uncut. You can see there's usually a cut line that goes down the middle of the hand. They open up to go on. I haven't cut these. Look how long this is. This goes all the way up onto my arm. It's just like a glove, and it's really tight. Let's see if I can get this off without breaking it. I haven't tried to take this one on or off yet. These are made with using a slip cast method with the latex, which slip casting is something that they did with like ceramics way back when. So I got it off. I put powder in there. It's baby powder, and you can see it holds its shape real nice. It's almost thick enough. With slip casting, the way it works is you'll take a plaster mold, which is here's the mold I made for the hands, right? Closes up real nice and gentle. Take the mold and you fill it with your latex, which is here. Now with pottery, which is kind of where this originated, they would use it's like they call it casting slip, which is basically like a super watered down clay, and you pour it into your mold, which would be a plaster mold. And what happens is the plaster lets the water in the clay seep through the surface, so the clay begins to dry on the outside where it's touching the plaster. And what happens is the liquid clay stays in the middle, and it dries toward the edges, so you get a skin on the inside. And then when it gets to a point where you think it's thick enough, you pour out the excess, and then you have this clay shape that matches your mold. You take it out, glaze it, bake it in a kiln, and then you have a porcelain piece. That's how they make mugs, that's how they make toilets, and a lot of sinks. A lot of porcelain stuff is made this way. Slip casting with latex is basically the exact same thing, except you pour your latex in, and it absorbs through the outside. What is it, ammonia? I don't know what's in latex. It smells awful. But it absorbs through the plaster, and it creates a skin on the inside of the mold, and it slowly thickens up, but the inside stays liquid. So when you pour it out, you get a nice hollow casting, which is how they make those Halloween masks. That's how I did this. Now, I haven't done much of this at all, so this is a pretty new thing to me. I'm not really familiar with how long or short time should be that you keep the latex in the mold. The longer you keep it in there, the thicker the piece gets. I did these for about an hour each, it's called dwelling. You pour your latex in all the way to the top, you just let it sit, and it develops a skin on the inside. After a set amount of time, you pour it out, you let it empty into a bucket so that you can collect the good latex that's still usable, and then you let it cure for a day or two, and you get one of these. This is an hour worth of dwell time to get this thickness. And you can see it's pretty rubbery. Like I said, it feels like a thick dish glove. It's a little heavier than like one of those chemical gloves, so it's pretty flexible. I think if I went for 2 hours, it might actually be almost the same consistency as a urethane rubber C3PO hand. But what's nice is since I'm not rotocasting it, the inside thickness is very even all the way around. And again, I don't know if this stuff will hold the chrome at all. It could be a total failure for that. But this would probably work really well for people who are building an alternative version of the droid. Like when I have my droid all red, this would be a great hand to use for the red droid because I could paint this red with flexible acrylic paints mixed with what is it, rubber cement and acrylics you can mix together, and you can paint latex, and it's flexible. It's totally bendy and it'll stay on there. That would be a really, really good thing about these hands. I might even try to chroma set just to see what they do. But yeah, so for the future builds, I'm planning on doing a couple of the alternate versions, another red droid and a white droid. That'll be permanently those colors, and I'll probably use these hands for those droids and just paint them up. And we'll see how they go. Again, this is a test set, so they're a little thin for my taste, but I might send them out. So I have somebody in mind that I think could probably make good use of these hands, or at least test them for a little bit and see how they work. So I'm going to send them out to a friend of mine who has a black protocol droid and see if he can take advantage of these. If he can't, no problem. If they suck, he can let me know, and then I can try to make them better. But yeah, latex rubber C3PO hands. Kind of cool. Thumbnail? Is this a thumbnail? Could be. We'll see. Thanks for stopping by, guys. If you got any questions about this, let me know. And I'll be back soon.